Hello again, and welcome to Disctv, the show that brings you the world of disc golf. I'm Brian Sullivan, and this week we're in Lac Du Flambeau, Wisconsin for something a little different. It's the Sandy Point Team Invitational. That's right, team disc golf. 8 teams of 12 players each have come from across the country to test their skills on a very tough and very technical course. The action starts here, so don't go anywhere because Disctv is on the air right now. Also this week, former world champion and Disc Golf Hall of Famer David Greenwell will show you some tips on using a variety of roller techniques to get out of trouble and save your putts. It's all about disc golf. This is Disctv.
Good putts.
Mike, this is a pretty good sized lake.
Yes, it sure is. About 785 acres.
Any walleye out there?
Yeah, there's walleye, muskie, crappie, a few other things too.
Maybe we could do a little fishing after the round.
You betcha.
All right, well, let's see. This is thinking about losing some plastic perhaps in this hole. Now, this is hole 24, Mike, and this is a temporary hole only set up for tournaments, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay, so how should we be playing this? Tell me about the wind and the distance. What's going on?
Well, usually there's more of a breeze here than there is right now, so I think you can probably take a little more of a run at it than you normally would if there was the wind was up. But 2 ways to go after it: right at it, or lay up safe over by the fish cleaning house there.
And our distance?
Distance is 304 from here to the long position.
And am I going to have to get wet if I actually throw one in the water?
Yeah, it's up to you. You know, you can always have somebody retrieve it for you.
Let's see if we can avoid having that happen.
You got it.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Well, that was a little conservative as well. Dry.
Boat.
Now, there's consistent throwing, and then there's consistent throwing.
How about that?
Okay, how about that? Now, the question is, which one of us can hit the putt? Because we have an equal putting challenge ahead of us with the water right out in front. I imagine not too many people will run this, will they, Mike?
I don't know. Depends on if you have an opponent or you're just playing stroke play.
Oh! Same consistency is there. I don't know what this means, Mike, but 2 shots in a row now we've landed in the same spot. And that's never happened to me before. But I'm going to take my 4 and I'll let you put out.
Guess I'm going to have to take my circle 4 as well.
Well, there we were. Mike, appreciate you showing us around.
My pleasure.
It is the Sandy Point Disc Golf Ranch in Lac Du Flambeau, Wisconsin. If folks want more information, Mike, where can they go?
The website is sandypt.com.
So come disc golfing in northern Wisconsin. There are more than 1,300 disc golf courses worldwide. However, you're going to find very few of them at a resort where you can bring the family and have a great week or a weekend. You can do that here at Sandy Point Resort. Michelle Cousins, it's a beautiful place.
Thank you. Yeah, we are pretty proud of it, Brian.
Now, what can people expect to find when they come here?
Aside from disc golf?
Aside from disc golf.
Okay, well, we have 7 different units, and they range in size from a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, all the way up to a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. So we can accommodate as many as 14 people in that one, and 4 to 6 in a smaller one. And people come primarily for family vacation. In fact, we book up about a year in advance during the months of June, July, and August. And it's mostly with families who have been coming year after year after year. And they're not typically disc golfers. Most of them never heard of the sport, and that's where we get our hands on them and give them a piece of plastic and say, go out and throw it.
New disc golfers are born.
Exactly. We've created some addicts, really. People have started participating in our weekly leagues and buying plastic, which we of course love, and then going home and finding a course in their neighborhood and joining leagues there.
So what are they finding here when they come? What are they enjoying?
Well, our cabin rentals include all the resort facilities. As you can see, we've got this wonderful lakefront. We probably have one of the best beaches in the North Woods. And being on the north end of the lake with the prevailing winds out of the south, it gives us a sandy beach, but it also gives us all of the sticks and leaves and all kinds of things that wash up on a daily basis. So we take good care of it every day to make it nice. We include a boat, one of these 14-foot rowboats with each cabin, the paddle boats, the canoe. Someone's there enjoying the canoe right now. Disc golf is included, naturally. We've got a recreation house and basketball court, volleyball court. People come here to fish. There's our fish cleaning house over there. And really anything that they want to do as long as they come here to relax. Their cell phones won't work.
Because you're so far out.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, now you have the Wisconsin Frisbee Disc Golf Hall of Fame, or
Right.
Frisbee Hall of Fame?
Well, it's actually the Disc Golf Hall of Fame, but we added the Frisbee in there. One of our inductees a few years back, Brad Wendt, was primarily a disc sports overall freestylist, and when he was inducted, they thought that they would branch out a little bit. But for the most part, those of us who are members or who have been inducted are primarily disc golf people. But it's been in existence since, I think, 1996, maybe 95, not sure. But Bill Waldo Stolpa, it was his brainchild. Even before he worked for us, he approached us and asked us if we would house it. And we certainly agreed. It's been a really nice attraction for people to come and have a look and see what it's all about.
Now, Michelle, among other things, you're also an author. You've written a book.
Yes, I have. I was a working journalist prior to becoming a resort owner and a mother, that combination career. And I used to write a column when I lived in Berkeley, so I always knew that writing was in my future. And over the years, so many people have asked me about the resort. How did you do it? You're living my dream life. Please tell me how you did it. So I decided instead of answering that question orally, I would write down my answer, and it turned into a book.
Fantastic. Now, it's going to be in stores very soon, right?
Yeah, it will be available on demand in bookstores, but also through Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and through my publisher's website, which is McKenna Publishing. They're located in Southern California.
And if folks are looking for more information specifically about the Sandy Point Resort, where can they go?
Our website, of course, Brian, which is www.sandypt.com.
It's the Sandy Point Resort in Lac Du Flambeau, Wisconsin, which is definitely the North Woods, and we highly recommend you bringing the family out for a visit.
Thanks, Brian.
We're here today with legendary disc golfer David Greenwell. Now, David is not only a former world champion, he's also a member of the Disc Golf Hall of Fame. David, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Brian, and thanks for bringing disc golf to TV.
Now, not only, Dave, have you been a member of the Hall of Fame, you've actually been voted by the Hall of Fame members as the second best player behind Ken Clamwell for the 20th century. Now, that's really saying a lot.
It feels good to be appreciated by the people that you play with week in and week out. It's been a long time coming. After traveling for 24 years, it's kind of been a major part of my life, really.
So after 24 years, you've seen just about every possible disc golf situation. As a matter of fact, you have a video coming out soon called How to Save Par.
I sure do, and hopefully I'll get it together this year. We've already shot the footage, but I've been doing the editing myself, and that's something that I'm not real familiar with, so it's taken a little while.
Well, here's the scenario. David's going to show us how to get out of trouble. Our lie is over here. We're off the fairway. Dave, let's go see what we can do to get out of here.
Let's do it.
All right, David, first off, let's talk a little bit about our lie, what we're looking at here as far as the challenge, and how you recommend getting out.
Okay. Well, more times than not, when people see a disc or a frisbee, they think of flying it, which is the natural thought. That's
Putting it out in the air.
Putting it in the air. I mean, that's what we all love. We love to watch the flight of the disc. But in disc golf, you're going to have situations where you really just can't fly it. And in those cases, you need to find another way to get it, whether it's throwing it upside down, whether it's rolling it, or what have you. There's a bunch of different types of rollers and a bunch of different types of upside down. Of the rollers, you have two basic kinds. You have one that is clockwise spin and one that is a counterclockwise spin. One finishes one direction and one finishes the other. Today, with the lie that we have here, we need to incorporate a counterclockwise spin, something that is going to finish to the left, because our target area here is to the right with the basket to the left and not much of an alleyway to get there.
So the disc will be spinning counterclockwise to take the disc toward the basket.
To finish to the left.
Finish.
To finish to the left. So there's a couple different ways of throwing a counterclockwise spin. One of them is a two-finger roller, which you grip like this. And the other one is called a thumb roller, which is held like this. The thumb roller I like to use when I have to put the disc straight up and down relatively quick, which in this scenario right here, I'm going to have to stand it up pretty much straight up and down through this tunnel to get through all the different trees here.
Because you have such a low ceiling, so
Exactly.
you're going to have to get it on edge early on after release.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, seeing as all these branches are hanging down pretty far, we're going to mark this lie right here, and in this situation I would kneel down to do that, so it gives you a little better ceiling to work with. Now, since you have to be behind your lie, you can either put your front foot there or you can put your knee behind it, whichever gives you the most room to operate.
David, is there a particular type or style of disc that's going to be best for a roller like this?
Generally speaking, a deeper rim disc tends to work better. It gives you a little bit more to grab onto, and having a wider rim here gives you a better surface for rolling. Now, the disc is going to turn more or less depending on the angle that you release it at and how much spin you put on it. The more spin that you put on it, the more the disc is going to react and turn quicker.
And how do you control the amount of spin?
The amount of spin is controlled by the snap of the wrist. If you don't want it to spin a lot, then you just kind of dump it out there. If you want it to spin a lot, then you want to really snap your wrist to create the spin.
So in our scenario here, we have maybe 110, 120 feet to go, and you want to send it out, I'm going to guess maybe 80, 90 feet before it begins to turn. Would you agree?
Well, actually, I'm gonna make it hit the ground probably about 15 or 20 feet in front of me. And I want it to stand pretty straight up and down and not be moving really fast, because we have a background there that is not conducive to being beside. So I want it to cut just in front of that building there and set up for saving my par.
So would you consider this shot to be a hard turn or a
I'd say just
soft turn?
just a soft turn.
Okay. And what about your angle of release? How are you?
My angle of release is going to be almost straight up and down.
Okay.
Just almost straight up and down. So let's do this. Brian, let's try one of these, see if we can't get it close.
Now that's a par saver.
It's going to give me a chance to say par anyway.
So that's a thumb roller, and if you find yourself in a situation like this, you can try it out. If it doesn't work the first time, keep practicing, right?
Practice is the key.
Dave Greenwell, we'll find him again on Disctv showing us some more of your trick shots, and be looking for David Greenwell's video coming out soon called Saving Par.
Yes, sir, it sure is.
Thanks a lot.
And probably be distributed by Innova Champion.
Appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Northwoods of Wisconsin. We're here in Lac Du Flambeau for the Sandy Point Team Invitational. And we're here with Tournament Director Michelle Cousins and her two lovely young ladies. Who do we have here, Michelle?
This is my daughter Willow and my daughter Camille.
Hello, ladies. How are you today?
Good.
Excellent. So, Michelle, a team invitational. This is different from singles play, so how is it different?
Well, it's different in a lot of ways, Brian. First of all, I have to tell you it's one of the most fun events that I've ever participated in, even as a competitor and a tournament director. But the level of camaraderie and competition here is different. It's so much fun. What we have are 8 teams, and each consists of 12 players. And they're in 5 different divisions. We have them seeded according to division and ability. Players 1 through 6, seeds 1 through 6 are the open players. Seeds 7 and 8 are masters players. Seed 9 is a grandmaster. Seed 10 is a woman. It's technically an open woman spot, but it could be an advanced woman as well.
Okay.
And then the last 2 seeds, 11 and 12, are advanced players. And that's very important. They have to be card-carrying advanced players. No pros who've never accepted money. It has to be a card-carrying advanced player.
So then each team, there's 12 players, and they come from the spectrum of divisions.
Right.
Okay, so how does the head-to-head team-to-team competition work?
Well, the players are seeded again, as I said, according to divisions. So if you are seed 1 open player, you will play every other seed 1 player on each team with 7 rounds to start the competition before the finals. We have, I'll give you an example. We'll say the Sandy Point team, the home team, is playing the NorCal team. Seed 1 will play each other in head-to-head match play. Seed 2 will play each other in head-to-head match play, etc., and so on down the line. And if you win, if you as seed 1 wins, you will score 1 point for your team. So the maximum number of points that any team can score during a head-to-head competition is 12 points.
Okay, and how long are the rounds? How many holes?
There are 12 holes. So again, we have 2 simultaneous matches going on, if you will. Seeds 1 through 12 from 2 sets of teams will start on the first 12 holes, and then holes 13 through 24 will have a whole nother set of people competing against each other.
Now we have an idea of how it works, so tell me about the course. What kind of challenges are out there and awaiting these golfers?
Okay, well, I think this course, as you could probably see from all the trees around
Just
you.
a few trees
Yeah, and you
here.
played a hole already, so you know it's pretty tight. On any given hole, at any given time, even the best player can hit a tree. So anything can happen. You can get skunked 12-0. You can go head-to-head and maybe score a point on every hole and end up winning 7-5. Or it could be a 0-0 tie if you birdie everything or if you par everything.
That's the beauty of match play.
Absolutely.
Now, who is here? Tell us a little bit about the teams.
Wow, we've got a really spectacular lineup this year. Our teams, let's see, coming back are the champions from NorCal.
That's
and
Northern California.
Northern California, Team NorCal, and it's headed up by our old friend Peter Sontag. And Peter's no stranger to this event. I think he's been here at least 4 years. He used to play for the home team, and then he veered off and got his own team and came here and just took it away. So he's got his team coming back. The next team of real note is Team Michigan. They won the tournament 3 years in a row. No one can touch them until NorCal came in. But this year's captain is Gary Laura from Michigan. Then we've got, let's see, the team from Kansas City called the Hal Babies in honor of the former captain, Hal Baby Kurz. And that's Ben Hansen is the captain. He picked up the Flying Eye crew, which is a pretty good pickup to get for a team.
Let me stop you right there. Let's talk a little bit about these teams really aren't regional anymore. They're more pulling players from maybe anywhere in the country and
Ringers.
saying, you're on our team.
Yeah,
Ringers. Okay.
They're the ringers. We've done, as a home team, we've done it every single year because we don't have a group of people from Lac Du Flambeau that play disc golf here regularly. We're getting there with our league and as the courses caught on, but every year we've sort of brought in old friends from the disc golf community to come in, and then the word has gotten out. But our group, the home team this year, is the Winnie Crew. We were very happy. I wrote to Todd earlier in the year and asked him if he'd be a part of it, and he used to be on Team Michigan, so he jumped at the chance to come back to the tournament.
Nice ringers there for the home team.
Yeah, yes, I think so.
So Michelle, who's the favorite? Who have you got your eye on to win this weekend?
Well, that's pretty easy, actually, Brian. I have to say it's Team NorCal. Last year they came out here for the first time and just wiped everyone away. They went undefeated for regular tournament play.
Wow.
And were in the final with Michigan, who definitely gave them a run for their money. But this year they've got almost the same team, with the exception of a new grandmaster who's not new to the sport at all. The legendary Michael Travers is here, who's an old friend, and we're just delighted he's here. So I think my money is definitely on NorCal. And by the way, speaking of California, I just wanted to mention that we got the idea from this tournament from Snapper Pearson. Both Mike and I participated in the Southwest Team Invitational years ago.
In San Diego.
In San Diego, and it was so much fun. It was like nothing else I had ever done before, and Mike felt the same way, so he wanted to make it his own. And 8 years later, here we are in a X-tier event with the PDGA with some of the biggest names in the sport today here on our property. We're just thrilled. It's going very well.
Michelle, we're real excited to be here.
Thanks.
And right now, let's take you out to the action.